Welcome to my channel. Please enjoy the video. What is going on, my tea sippers? So the rapper, actor, and activist whose real name is Lonnie Lynn said in a series of tweets that he wrote in his new memoir, Let Love Have the Last Word, in part to help lift the stigma of sexual abuse. Common says, quote, I hope being open about my childhood trauma can give others the strength to do the same and help them on their own healing journeys, he said. We've all experienced pain and suffering, and it's nothing to be ashamed of. He also said that he made the disclosure for cultural reasons. He said, quote, I talked about being molested as a black man. Many men have hidden that, Common said. Many people have hidden that, and you can carry that weight with you, but at some point, you've got to let it go. So in the book, guys, and I'm going to order this book offline and begin reading it myself because it really intrigues me and interests me on what Common really had to say and what he went through. So in the book, he released that book in 2018, I think, or 2019. And Common says that it wasn't until 2 years ago, while preparing for his role in the movie called The Tale, alongside Lauren Dern, that he uncovered memories of being molested. And that 2018 film is a true story about child rape. And once again, guys, that movie is called The Tale. So Common wrote that the abuse happened at the age of 9 or 10 years old during a family's trip to Cleveland, when he had to share a bed with his godbrother's relative, who he refers to as Brandon. After the incident, he said he felt a deep and sudden shame for what had happened. So the Grammy, Golden Globe, Oscar winner rapper has since forgiven his abuser. He said this in his new memoir, and with the help of his therapist, he's still working through what he endured. Common says he wants to be a person who helps break cycles of violence, he wrote. This is love in action, and I intend to practice it. So Common did give a lot more detail to what actually occurred during the time it happened. And he said, at some point, I felt Brandon's hands on me. I pushed him away. I don't remember saying a whole lot besides no, no, no. He kept saying, it's okay, as he pulled down my shorts, and then he molested me. After he stopped, he kept asking me to perform it on him. I kept repeating no and pushed him away. I felt a deep and sudden shame for what had happened. To cope with this abuse, Common said he just blocked the painful memories out of his mind. Maybe for me, it was a matter of survival. Even now, 2 years after that flash of memories, he said as he began writing, I'm still working through all of this and working on myself, and even working with my therapist. He says he's never spoken with this accuser about the incident, and he says he's never seen him in over 25 years. But he has forgiven him, and for his and others' sake, I want to be a person who helps break cycles of violence, he wrote. This is love in action, and I intend to practice it. Okay, Common, so I'm not here to judge you or anything like that. Okay? And I know he was 9 years old. And once again, guys, y'all know I like to say, where was the parents? And I remember a long time ago, I didn't even know who he was. He used to be on the Red Line train in Chicago, baby. Common was on the train singing for change and had his little bucket, and he looked totally different from how he looks today. But anyway, that is not the story I came to speak about. But I have been in his presence physically back in the day, and I didn't know who he was. But Common, I am getting so tired of people saying they forgive people who do these despicable crimes and don't press charges on these people. You can save another life. Because I guarantee you, whoever this abuser was, he was older than Common, and Common was not the first child he touched. Neither was he going to be the last child. So to forgive them is to say, okay, I forgive what you did to me, but I don't care about saving the next child or the next little boy, in my opinion. Because I guarantee that this man, if he's still alive, he has continued to do what he was doing. And he needed to be arrested a long time ago. And that way, he wouldn't be able to touch anybody else's son. And that's just my opinion. Because the way I see it, if an abuser or molester is forgiven, that lets them think, it's okay, I can continue to do what I do. This person feels sorry for me. So I've done nothing wrong. Let me go on and go ahead and repeat this behavior that I have on the next victim, the next child, the next little girl, or the next little boy. Because we don't speak up enough. We don't acknowledge the abuse in our community. And I think it's because it's overlooked as a form of weakness. Now, don't get me wrong, guys. Much respect to Common. He spoke out. He didn't want to be vilified. He wasn't going to allow himself to be vilified. And he was a soldier to me, and he spoke his truth. But forgiving this man and letting this go away and block it out of your mind, think about all of the victims who came behind you, Common. That's not breaking the cycle. That's only initiating the behavior of the person who did it to you to go and do it to another little boy. And then for that little boy to grow up and go and do it to other little boys, and so on and so on. And this is just how I'm looking at it, guys. So not only do we have to speak up on sexual molestation, children should speak up, but they should take legal action as well when they're old enough to. Or if they have support, if you don't have support, call 911. I think this is often the basis of hypersexuality amongst Black men. Because according to Jaguar Wright, she started talking about Common's dating history and said he hasn't been right since Lauryn Hill left him. And not only that, guys, Jaguar Wright made some heavy allegations against the rapper Common. Jaguar spilled her details and experience to where she says she rejected Common's sexual advances, and he later tried to force her into having oral sex with him. Jaguar. Goddamn, Common. Next thing I know, we go to bed and he's like, come on, Jag. I'm like, no, hell no. I'm tired, nigga. I was on stage all night. I want to lay down. I laid down with my clothes on. I'm a rape victim survivor. I know how to buy myself a little time, she began. Let's keep it a bean, Jaguar likes to say. See, Jaguar Wright is famously known for often collaborating with The Roots, where she famously sang background for Jay-Z on songs like Izzo for their MTV Unplugged projects. See, I'm not here to shame Jaguar Wright, and if this indeed happened, this is disgusting and outrageous. But Jaguar, I have some questions, honey. Why were you even in Common's bed to begin with? That's just the question. Were you guys a couple at that time? But Jaguar, if you guys were not together, did he force his way into the room? Or did you go into his room? I'm still trying to figure that part out, and I most definitely would not discredit Jaguar's claims. However, guys, Common came out and says that he was taken advantage of. He got into the bed with this male named Brandon, and it seems like this young man was way older than Common, and he took advantage of him. So Jaguar explaining the way she was in bed and Common came up to her and tried to take advantage of her, allegedly, sounds like the same thing he went through. And this what makes abuse victims, especially males, hypersexual. And this behavior does not go away with just 2 or 3 or 4 or maybe even 20 therapy sessions. To be honest, guys, it's all about your faith and about your way of thinking. That's why some abusers and the victims that are being abused grow up and offend on other children. It's very hard to explain, and I'm not a psychologist, but in my opinion, guys, there is no cure for this. There is no cure for a molester or a pedophile. Absolutely, there's no pill that you can take. But once again, I will not discredit Jaguar's allegations, but for me to have questions does not mean that I discredit her. But the question was, why were you in Common's bed, or why were you even in bed with him to begin with? Because most celebrities that go on tour together, they should have their own hotel room with their own bed. Even if you're sharing the same room, they have double beds in those rooms. So that was just the question. You know, maybe they had a double bed, and maybe she was on one bed and he was on the other bed. However, we have questions. Now, I will go and try to look at that interview again when Jaguar came out with those allegations, if it's still somewhere online, and then I'll probably come back and critique that. But that was just a question that I had. I was curious about it because due to my research, it was stated, and I'm not taking this as facts, okay? This is just what I researched, and it said that you, Jaguar, and Common were together. You were together with him and you were with your ex-husband at the same time. But this doesn't mean that it's okay when someone tells you no, and she said it 3 times, and no means no. A woman could be married to her husband and she could come home and not feel good and he wants to have sex with her and she'll tell her husband no. And if her husband forces her to have sex, that is in fact rape, because no means no. So I was just trying to get the details in to see if you guys were in a relationship. Basically, it still would not matter. However, those were the questions I had. So guys, to sum this all up, the impression that I got is that she and Common may have been doing a show together, and afterwards, when they went back to their hotel room, and then he tried to assault her, like she said, for whatever reason, they must have had 2 beds in that room instead of separate rooms. I assume that she was married and that does not matter, but I was just trying to get to the bottom of that part, Jaguar. If you're watching this video, please comment, send me an email, girl. Because I don't put anything past anyone, especially these days, guys. However, that was sad what happened to Common. He was just an innocent boy. And like I told you guys, and we don't know when he started doing therapy. Was it immediately after when he was still a kid? Or did he do it when he grew up and got famous? Did he start getting therapy for that? Like I said, guys, sadly and unfortunately, there is no cure for pedophilia or being a child molester. So I keep Common in my prayers, because what happened to him, just like Robert Sylvester Kelly, he was a little boy as well, 8 years old, and these adults, these evil people took advantage of these young men, and they grow up confused. So guys, please drop it down in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think, and I thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned for more commentary. Hey guys, thanks for watching my video. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification bell.